everyone, and welcome to Learn How to Crochet with Crystal. I'm just going to show you how to do these pom-poms, how to make one handmade. You can also get Pom Pom Makers, which if you're anything like me, like I am not the best at making pom-poms. I'll admit that right now, get that out of the way. But if you're not, you can also get a Pom Pom Maker, and they're pretty easy to use as well. But I figured I would show you guys while we are here. You want a piece of cardboard, okay? I do not recommend using like a flimsy one like this, like I have done. It makes it so much more harder because the more you go around with the yarn, even though your tension isn't very tight, it kind of tends to bend. But this is what I could find tonight around my house, which is funny because I'm pretty sure I have some cardboard somewhere, but I just couldn't find it. But yes, I definitely recommend that. A stronger one. But this is what I will be using tonight. And then you want to cut a strand of yarn like, oh, I was like, did I forget my scissors? You want to cut a strand of yarn that we are going to use to tie it. So about, well, mine's about the same size as my cardboard there. So like so, just so that you can wrap it around and then tie it when we're done. And I forgot to mention this before in my other videos. So when you get yarn, a ball of yarn, you know, it doesn't typically look like this, right? But I do recommend wrapping it like this into a ball, like the whole yarn. I know it's kind of tedious, and you can also get like a yarn spinner, which again, I'm sure I have one somewhere. I know I bought one. I don't know where it is, so I just kind of been doing the old-fashioned style lately anyways. But the reason why is sometimes when you buy the balls of yarn in the store and you're working on a project, you'll get like midway through, and sometimes the yarn that's stuffed inside, like the other end of the yarn, is sometimes tied inside, or as it's unraveling when you're working on projects, it will form a knot somehow inside. And then you're like, oh no, like what do I do now? Because you can't get it undone because the other side of your yarn is attached to your project and you don't want to cut it because, well, you can, but the more sewing you have to do, and then it doesn't look as nice, your project or whatever, to try and attach another piece. And anyways, so to avoid all of that, you do want to try to wrap a ball yourself like through your yarn there. Okay, so here we are. So I have my little cardboard, if that's what you want to call it, piece. As I said, I'm not the best at making pom-poms at all, but you can also find other YouTube videos on making them, tips and tricks. I've seen people use a fork for a smaller one, so you do kind of the same method, but instead of putting the yarn through here to tie it at the end, you just use the middle part of the fork and then you wrap it around this way. I'm just going to do 50 wraps around, because that's kind of what I did for my other ones here. But the more wraps you do, typically the thicker your pom-pom will be. And yeah, so I'll leave that up to you guys, but I'm just going to do 50 tonight. So you want to kind of hold that there, and then I'm just going to place a little bit there and kind of go around that. So that's 1, 2. Okay, now I can kind of pull this down a bit. And I'm going to pull some yarn off so I'm not struggling trying to pull. Get some off of here. I'll probably need more, but let's start with that. Okay, so 2. And then we go, make sure that you're not getting the strand of yarn in there in the back either that you're going to tie with. 3, 4, and you don't need to pull too tight on these ones. So 4, 5, 6. Okay, now I'm going to take this, I'm going to just snip this one strand at the end. Now I'm going to take the strand in the back here, and I'm going to pull it up between these two. Okay, and I'm not going to tie it off completely yet, because you will want this really tight, this tying strand. Like, you want it as tight as you can possibly get it. So I'm just going to do the first one like so, and like I said, I'm not going to pull it too tight. Just make sure that you don't lose the ends there. And slide this here off. Okay, now we want to like really pull as tight as we can. Okay, kind of hold that there for a minute, and then try and tie these two at the same time. Yeah, get in there. And pull that tight like so. Okay, so this is what it will kind of look like. Now we need to go around and we need to cut all of these little loops. Okay, so sometimes when I'm making pom-poms, I'll just watch a show on the couch and I'll grab like, well, that's what I did with these ones, and I just grab like a little plastic bowl and sit there and work away at them. But and you will find other loops that maybe you have missed along the way, like as you're trimming them down, the strands down, to make it look more rounded. And that's totally fine. It happens. Cut these guys like so, all of them. See, you'll find some like this right here, and these. Okay, and this one's, voila. And you can kind of just move them around a bit. Try and make sure you got them all. Okay, and then now we want to go around. I usually flatten it, like you can kind of see our string right here. So I usually try and flatten it this way first for whatever reason, and then just kind of go around and try and cut it the best I can. I kind of try and cut it in like a circular formation, I guess. And one thing I realized while I was making these is I could not be a hairdresser, I don't think. Because I'm my own worst critic. So like I will trim it and trim it and trim it and trim it, which is funny because I can cut my own hair. But when I'm doing these, I just get so like, no, that's not right. That one's poking out. This one isn't straight. And I just get really like OCD about it or something. Like, I don't even know why. But I'm like, I don't think I could cut other people's hair, because by the time that they leave the shop, they will probably end up having pieces out everywhere or bald. Like, I could totally see them leaving bald by the time I'm done with them. That's what I was thinking when I was making the other pom-poms. I was like, oh my word, like, relax, Chris, it's fine. And you're like, you're your own worst enemy. Like, I don't even know. Oh, yeah, so I turned it like the other way now. Sorry. So I had it this way, and now I just kind of turned it this way, and I'm kind of doing the same thing. Okay. Oh, I thought I had some loopies there. So, yeah, if you notice, like with these ones, like they're all kind of different, well, not sizes. They're about the same size, but some are a little bit more hairier than others or fluffier than others or what have you. So I still need to trim them down a bit or keep trying to form them, but I'm a little bit scared that I'm not going to stop. And it's like, no, you got to stop. So let's check this one out before I get too short with it. All right. You want to kind of try and like fluff it up a bit. I mean, like I said, I could have probably did more than 50 strands around, but for just the purpose of the tutorial or video, and like I said, I am not good at making pom-poms. I am not at all. So if I can get this like to at least where they are now, I'm kind of happy with that. I don't want to cut them all the way down. And they kind of make me nervous a little bit. I love them. Like, I'm actually starting to love them a lot more, but I just, yeah, they kind of freak me out a little in that sense, like when I'm making them. So anyway, there we go. We have this one, now 2. And then these ones are the ones I said that I would, oh, yeah. So for this one, if you wanted to make smaller ones, maybe use the fork, try that out and see how that works for you. Try maybe 50 rounds around here, see how it goes. If it's not fluffy enough for you, you can always like increase however many strands you do around to make it more fluffier. But the key is to just that tie string, you really have to pull that tie string like tight. Otherwise, your strands are going to fall out, and then, yeah, you're going to have a big mess and then be all frustrated. But I have been trying to do these for I don't even know how long, and I get what I get, and I don't get upset, basically, because I don't know. So for this one, I'm going to put these ones around the top. So it's going to kind of look like a clown, in a sense, so that's kind of cool, right? And then so these will be at the top of my Kleenex box holder, which you will probably see a video of that later. But yeah, I just want to come on and show you guys how to make pom-poms. Okay, thanks. Bye.